when I picked up that harmonica, I found out I can play tunes on that thing. In 5 minutes, I was playing all kinds of songs. And I think my father must have heard me, and he got a little frightened. I didn't know whether, you know. Now, when it took me a long time to do it, but I've been listening to those Goodman records. For a while, I put them away. Well, when I picked them up again, I was about 11. And oh boy, I wore some of them out. And then I started going out and buying my own records shortly after that. When I had my allowances or whatever it was, I bought my own records. I have a library downstairs you wouldn't believe. And
what kind of stuff were you buying then?
mainly the swing stuff.
Swing stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Ellington, Goodman. I started reading the books. And from the books, I got, okay, I want to hear this one, I want to hear that one. And some of the older stuff, King Oliver, Armstrong, Bix Beiderbecke became a big favorite of mine. James P. Johnson, who was Fats Waller's teacher. I learned how to play almost exactly like him. And taught myself how to play like Fats Waller, of course. I sing like him, I play like him. And when I was about 13, my father finally broke down and got me a clarinet. And he found a teacher, a local guy in the area, a guy who actually was a club date guy. He wasn't a real teacher. But I don't know how well I would have responded to that kind of teaching because, frankly, I was a lazy kid. But I had the clarinet, maybe 3 weeks. I was playing a full scale in a low register. I started playing songs. And the more I learned the clarinet, the more I could play. Finally, I began to meet a couple of young people who played some music. And they said, you want to make some money? Get a saxophone. Oh, boy, started going there. My father didn't want to buy me a saxophone. Oh, please. But the instruments he bought me were cheap stuff. And the problem is I learned some bad habits on them. I had to go out later on and buy my own with my own money. Well, for that matter, my father also. My father had a thing about spending money. He didn't like it. And my bar mitzvah present was a bicycle, but I paid for half of it myself because he didn't want to buy that one. He wanted to buy the cheaper one. I didn't want the cheaper one. I wanted a more expensive one. So I took some of the money that I got in checks and I bought the bicycle that I wanted, not the one that he wanted. Well, he bought me a cheap saxophone and he bought me a cheap clarinet. Finally, I ended up getting rid of them. But still, I learned partly by playing along with the records as they were playing on the phonograph.